Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Emma and I'm going to be doing a vlog where I reread my favourite book of all time, Project Hail Mary. I read this book around the time it was released last year, physically read it and absolutely fell in love with it, and I've been dying to listen to the audiobook since then, so I decided to pick it up on Audible because I had some spare credits, and I spent the whole of yesterday and this morning listening to the book. And yeah, I decided to do a full spoiler version, so I will advise, it's in the title, it's everywhere. This is a full spoiler. I wanted to openly talk about everything that happened in it and just get it out my system because I love talking about this book. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the vlog and I will see yous on the first clip. Okay, I have decided to do a reading vlog because I am rereading, let's take this out so I can hear myself, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This was one of my favourite books, not of just 2021, was it, last year it came out, but just like it became one of my all-time favourite books. And I've been in a really big reading slump the last few months. It's been horrendous, but I've recently got back into like the swing of reading and I decided to get the audiobook and listen to that, and I think I'm just going to listen to it today as like a one shot throughout the day because I know the story, I can listen to it on a reasonable speed, and I'm just working from home today, so I may as well have some earphones in while I do that. So this vlog will be completely spoiler filled. The first time I read this I didn't discuss any spoilers at all, but fair warning, everything in this I will be discussing exactly what happens in the book, so if you don't want to be spoiled, go read the thing, which you should do anyway, and then come back and be excited with me because this book is fantastic. I will give you a short premise first, just to entice you, but basically, man wakes up in space, has to save Earth, i.e. Project Hail Mary. He is on the spaceship Hail Mary and it's Earth's last ditch attempt to save themselves from a disaster that's happening. So yeah, that's it. If you liked The Martian, this is definitely just worth picking up. The main character is basically the same as Mark Watney, scientist, kind of quick-witted, funny, not super serious all the time. Really likeable character. Andy Weir writes this type of character well. They went back to what they do best. I'm not mad about it. So anyway, I'm on chapter 11 already. We have just got to like the good part of the book, I guess. I mean, the book's a really fast read in general. It's just like one of these books that even though there's a lot of scientific chat in it, I feel like Andy Weir does a really good job of making it accessible and not overwhelming, and it doesn't make you feel like you've got no clue what's going on. It makes it lays it out for you and lets you understand it in a good way, basically. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we'll talk about what's happened up until now. Chapter 11, we've had our first big spoiler happen. So in this book, what's his name? Ryland Grace something? Ryland Grace is his exact name. Wakes up on a ship. He has no memory of to why he's there, but throughout the first 5 chapters or so he regains memories as to what's happening. And the premise of the story is that there has been found a sort of space mode that they call astrophage, and it's sucking all of the light from the sun, and they are basically in about 30 years the Earth's just going to run out of food. The ice is going to melt. It's basically just expediting global warming massively, and people are just going to be starving, and basically the mankind is going to be wiped out. So he ends up, through circumstances, on the spaceship with 2 other people. They have to be put into a temporary coma because they're being sent 13 years to another solar system to work out why a planet there survived the astrophage. So he wakes up, he starts to remember why he's there, and he starts going about like trying to work out how he's meant to save Earth. He doesn't have all of his memories back yet, but he remembers most of what led to getting him there at this point. So the big spoiler that you get is when he starts going about his, you know, scientific duties, he spots another ship out there with him, and it doesn't look human. It's an odd shape, it's huge, and it's very close. It's like making its way towards him. So this is when you find that there is an alien in the book. When I first read this, I was like, I don't know how much I liked the direction that went. I was like, an alien? Really? However, can I just say, he calls him Rocky because he looks like a rock, I guess. He's got like a rocky texture to him, but he's described as like the size of a Labrador dog, but kind of spider-like. He has like a main carapace with like multiple legs coming out, and then in the end of each leg there's like a 3-finger like claw hand thing, and he calls him Rocky, and they start trying to communicate with each other. They don't obviously speak the same language, they don't, you know, they basically, it's an alien creature, you kind of get the gist of how difficult that is. So in this, at this point at chapter 11, they've started trying to communicate. The Rocky seems to be like super good mechanically wise, like building things, so he has built a tube going from his ship to the other ship so that they can be in outside and see each other, but they're in their own, like he's breathing oxygen, Rocky breathes ammonia, so they're in their own environments, but they can see each other through glass and kind of communicate, and they can hear each other. So that's where we've got to. And can I just say, Rocky is like my favourite character I think I've ever read in any book ever. I know I'm going to get emotional going further into this with Rocky and his whole interactions with Ryland and everything, and I just yeah, I can't wait to keep listening to it. I just they, at the current moment in time, they're trying to explain to each other how time works, because Ryland needs to go sleep, and he's like, I'll be back like when this reaches here, and he's trying to show him how the clock works so he can work, so he understands like kind of how long that is. And then Rocky goes and gets his clock and shows him, and then he starts working out like how they work time, and he's getting super excited about it. But yeah, Rocky in the book, I was wondering how this would come across in the audiobook, because he talks in like musical notes. So Ryland likens it to a kind of whale song, but slightly different. Jax, what are you doing? Sorry, my dog. So in the audiobook, they actually play the musical notes, so like you can hear his responses, which is just amazing. And I'm like, that was such a nice touch to add that to it. Yeah. What is it, puppy? What is it, puppy? So yeah, I will keep reading and I'll update you to let you know how it's going. So far, the reread is going great. I like it, if not more this time round. I think this is the first time I've reread a book this quickly. I don't often reread books. It's not something that I do regularly or very much ever. I struggle to read books when I know the story. I think the only other book I've done it with is The Raven Boys. The Raven Boys? Is that what that's called? Yeah. Funnily enough, I've read the first book in that series twice and haven't continued the series at all. I think each time I read it, I plan on continuing and then just never do. But yeah, this is definitely like, doing this a year apart is definitely like the closest I've ever done it. But it's surprisingly good. I think doing an audiobook the second time round is a good way of getting through that. That helps get through it. But anyway, I'm just babbling at this point. I'm going to get back to work and listen to some more of this, and I will update you once I have got a bit further in the story. I'm on chapter 11 is page 184. I started this morning, so that's not bad. I've got 4 hours 20 minutes left, but I'm listening at 2.3 speed. So I think I can get it finished today. I'm pretty sure once I get into a certain point in this, I'm not going to be able to stop. I'm going to have to finish it. But I do have some other stuff that I need to get done later today, so I will need to stop at some point. So I'm going to try and power through. The face detection's on in this and it's off-putting. I've been babbling for 10 minutes. I'm going to go and I will just update you later. Okay. Oh, we just got to the end of chapter 12 and Ryland and Rocky have been talking to each other and learning about each other a lot more. And you just found out that Rocky's original crew was 23 and there's only him left. And Ryland says, my crew was 3 and there's only me left, and Rocky goes, bad, 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 bad. It's just like, it's so sad. Oh, so he's like wanting Ryland to watch him sleep. So when Ryland sleeps, Rocky watches him. He doesn't understand why he wants to do this, but he always says, I watch you sleep. They've kind of worked out a communication thing by this point. They've confirmed they're both there for the same purpose as well. So yeah, and then he's like, fine, I'll watch you sleep, Rocky. Oh, it's such a shame. It's so weird that it like actually upsets you so much. It's just the way he's like, Ryland says, you can tell by the tone of when he speaks that he's sad about it. Cause he's like, just me left. Like, oh, Rocky. That poor disgusting spider. So the only thing that worries me about this book is that it's been made into a movie, which is fine. Like, The Martian turned out great. I'm really worried about what Rocky looks like because I love him so much, but I really don't want him to look actually spider-like. I'm really hoping he's more rock-like because I really fucking hate spiders and I just don't want him to be like an actual spider because then it'll creep me out and I will not like him anymore. Oh. Anyway, we're going to continue. I was just jumping in to update you. Okay, I'm on chapter 16 now. I just started it. And we have learned some more stuff about Rocky in this one. For instance, we have just learned that he has actually been out in his ship in space for 46 years. And that they live for over 200 years, and he is over 200 years old. I don't know why. I wish I could explain why you end up liking Rocky so much. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but he's just such a likeable character. And I love the way they kind of describe when he's showing emotion, because he doesn't have a face. As far as you can tell, there's like nothing. They can't see, basically. They retrieve their surroundings via sound, and it's like comes in from all of their body. So he describes it as like when he's trying to emphasize something, he'll repeat it 3 times. So when he's saying like that his crew died, and he says bad, 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 and it's like that's his way of emphasizing that it's that part. And then there was also, and it'll describe, and in my head it's just how I'm thinking it, but he like kind of like tots back and forward when he's excited about something. At this point, they're kind of like openly able to communicate with each other, and Rocky has managed to create a kind of like ball that he can go inside, and then he can use magnets to like bring himself inside Ryland's ship. And then he's like moving around because they've found that the humans' technology is more advanced than Ryland's technology is, than Rocky's technology is. However, they're very similar in the stage of like where they have evolved to. And there is quite a good bit where Ryland says, like, what's the chances that we have met out here and that our civilizations have evolved to a similar level of, like, technology? And Rocky says, well, think about it, if someone was less evolved than us, they wouldn't have the technology to get out here, and if someone was more evolved than us, they probably would have come up with a better solution for fixing the problem. So the whole reason that we're meeting is because our civilizations have the same or similar amounts of evolution, which was quite interesting. I liked that, and I'm like, that's actually so simple when you think about it, it makes sense. But yeah, we're going to continue. I don't know if I'm actually going to finish this tonight. I ended up not being able to listen too much while I was doing my second half of work. Oh, I've got the dog here with me on the couch. I think he just realised I'm here. He's just staring at me. But yeah, I've got like 3.5 hours left. I've actually reduced the speed to 2 times. I felt at 2.3 it was kind of going by too quickly, and I wasn't really like enjoying the more emotional moments in the book. So I've reduced it to 2, which you wouldn't think would be a big difference, but 2.3 to 2. Look at the state of this. What are you doing? Hi. Okay. So yeah, someone else. Oh god, no! This is not the way. Anyway, I'm going to have my coffee and I'm going to continue, but basically I felt like the emotional parts were kind of skipping by too quickly. Turn it so you can see him. So yeah, I wanted to kind of enjoy it a little bit more. It might mean I don't finish it tonight, but we will see. I'm just going to chill out here, have a coffee, and listen for a bit until I have to make dinner. Also, my AirPods actually ran out of charge. You're shoving me. So I've had to swap to like over ear, which I'm not a big fan of. They make me really hot, so hopefully my AirPods will charge a bit fast. Okay, you're literally shoving me. Right, thank you. Share space, please. Thanks. Thank you. So yeah, I'll update you. I'll update you in a little bit once I have gone a bit further. Good morning. I just wanted to update on Project Hail Mary. I'm on chapter 24 at this point. I just started this. I didn't get it finished yesterday. I ended up watching that Woodstock 99 documentary on Netflix. Oh my god. What an absolute fucking mess that was. Anyway, we just got to quite an important part in the book. So obviously until this point, Ryland, who's on the ship, has assumed that he chose for this mission, that he volunteered for this mission. However, he's just found out from his memories that he was not, and that the original scientist ended up dying in an experiment prior to the launch. And they asked him to take his place because they have such a small pool of people that have the knowledge of the astrophage to, like, they only had like 9 days till the launch or something like that. And he refuses to go because he doesn't want to die because he knows it's a suicide mission, and they basically put him under arrest and knock him out and don't tell his crewmates that he's refused. They basically keep him under arrest until the launch, and then they actually give him a drug that creates the amnesia, which is why he lost his memory at the start. And they're hoping that by the time he regains his memories on the mission, he'll be too invested to change his mind, which is kind of exactly what's happened. So yeah, he's just came to the realisation that he's not exactly, you know, a hero for Earth, that he was basically forced to do this, and he kicked and screamed and cried and didn't want to do it. So yeah, that was a really interesting part. They're also, him and Rocky have just run into like an issue, so they've found the predator of astrophage, which is what is keeping this planet alive and why it's not dying to astrophage. But their experiments on how to get the predator to attack the astrophage is all failing, so things are looking a bit bleak at this point in the book. Their experiments are going wrong. He's just realised that he was forced on a suicide mission against his will. So yeah, I do like Rocky is so good at being like, Ryland Grace is quite moany, like he doesn't really handle things very well. He gets quite down on himself quite easy, and Rocky's really good at just being like, right, come on, go, it's time to get in you. Like he had to do a spacewalk and Ryland Grace was like, I don't want to do this, and Rocky's just like, go on, do it, do the thing. He's like no, this has to be done, so just do it, like you have to just do it. Which is actually so good. And the both of them were like, when they found out the experiments had failed, they were both really down, and he said you could hear Rocky's body like sink, which is like flop down, which is when he's really depressed. But then literally a few minutes later he's like up and he's like, we continue, we keep trying. Like he's just so good at keeping himself positive, which is literally the opposite of Ryland Grace, the main character. So yeah, the two of them together is really good. I just love Rocky. This is the best. So yeah, I've got an hour and a half left. I'm just starting work. It's like 7 AM. But I'm hoping that I can finish it this morning while at work, because I think my morning work should be doable with an audiobook. Hi puppy. Yeah. Look into my eyes. Okay, I'll update these. Probably the next time I update will be when I finish, probably. Okay, I am done. It is done. I have finished my reread of Project Hail Mary, and I stand by the 5 stars, definitely. I do feel like the end was not as good as I remember, but I think because I knew what to expect, there was no shock or like surprise factor that I got the first time around. And definitely the kind of emotional part is meant to be where they like part ways, basically, because once he makes a decision to go back and save Rocky, it just kind of like jumps through like the next steps. Basically he goes back to Rocky, he explains that he won't survive because he's not got enough food. Rocky vows to save him and they take the ship back to Erid, and then it jumps like 16 years in the future, and basically Ryland Grace has stayed on Erid. They've created him a whole place to live there. They've managed to find a way to feed him, and he basically lives and works there now, with the thought that maybe one day he'll go home. He also finds out that Earth has survived because Erid's astrologers have been able to check Saul's output, and they can see that the sun is getting brighter again, which means he knows that they've been successful in saving Earth as well. So yeah, it's more just like an interesting ending, I think, more than anything else. I'm not sure, like, I still like the ending. I like that he went to Erid and that he ended up just staying there. Like, I think that's completely fine. I didn't need him to return to Earth. I don't know if some people wanted to see the outcome of Earth and how they survived or didn't, you know, how they got on, humanity. But I do like that they steered away from that and chose a different decision, basically. I'm fine with it. As like I say, I stand by my 5 stars. I really enjoyed the reads. I definitely think the best parts is the middle section where him and Rocky are like communicating and meeting and working together, because I feel like their relationship is really good. Rocky's just the best character in the book by far, so any parts with him in it I'm happy with. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this read along with me. I don't know when the next video is coming up. I'm trying not to put any pressure on myself with this channel. It's just for fun when I want to create some videos about books and things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all next time.